Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to your science class. Today's lesson is really very interesting. Let's see what it is. It is about the Unit 1 science skills and the topics which we are going to study today are laboratory safety rules and hazards and risks. Let's see. At the end of today's lesson, you will be able to learn the importance of lab safety rules. You will enlist the laboratory safety rules, the hazard warning symbols, and types of hazards. Laboratory. It's a great place for students which help them a lot. It helps them in enhancing their learning by understanding the theoretical concepts which are taught in the classrooms. It makes learning very easy and fun learning. It helps in better understanding. It serves as a tool for gathering new experiences. I know you all enjoy a lot when you go to the lab because it feels fun more than the study. Importance of lab safety rules. Lab safety rules are meant for efficient working because when the rules are followed, then the working goes on smoothly and experiments can be performed very easily. To get the desired results, to keep yourself and others safe, to know the associated risks and deal with them, to adapt preventive measures, to prevent and deal with uncertain circumstances. Laboratory safety rules. You all are aware of the laboratory safety rules. Let's go through them because you have to make a project on that also at the end. Science safety rules. Look at the extreme left side first. Use only the materials that you need. Don't touch each and everything. Just the required materials should be maintained. Keep your classmates safe. Keep yourself also safe first, then keep others safe as well. Wash your hands after an investigation. It's very necessary. Your hands should be clean after the investigation, after any procedure. Use all tools responsibly and wear goggles for the safety of your eyes. Follow the instructions, very necessary. Don't go here and there and don't implement your own steps. Instead, you should follow the instructions given by your teacher. Don't taste, it's very dangerous. Many chemicals might be there and some of them might be toxic. Keep yourself safe, it's very important. Don't put fingers in any switches, don't touch any unnecessary things. Listen carefully and follow the directions. Your teacher again and again tell you that listen carefully and follow the directions. So you should follow the steps. Clean up your workspace. It should be done before the experiment as well after the experiment. Wear the lab coat. It's good for your safety of your uniform, of your dresses. Wear gloves when necessary. When you are using your hands for doing the experiment, then it's necessary to wear the gloves. Hazards and risks. A hazard is any agent that can cause damage. It can be any chemical, any needle even. What is risk? Risk is the chance that exposure to a hazard will lead to a harm. Risk is associated with exposure. When something is exposed, a hazard poses no risk if there is no exposure to that hazard. Let me explain you through an example. If a needle is there, it's a hazard. Needle is dangerous, but it's only a hazard. It will be a risk only when a small child is going near the needle. Then you will say that it's risky, it's a risk. Otherwise, if a needle is there in a box, it's just a small hazard, but it's not a risk. Look at the image now. Hazard is something that has the potential to harm you. A boy is standing and he is looking that in the sea there is a shark. It's a hazard. But if he goes inside to swim, then it's a risk that the shark might harm him. So it's the difference between hazard and risk. Risk is only when it is exposed to us, exposed to any person. Hazards, symbols and meanings. These symbols are internationally accepted worldwide, all over the world. These symbols, we are starting from the left side. Explosive, it means it might be, this symbol might be written on any chemical, that it's explosive, means it can explode, so we should not touch that without any use. Next is flammable, that it can self ignite with water, it can burn. Third is oxidizing, it is also able to burn and it can cause fire also. And O, it has O and then it's fire. O represents oxygen because these substances have ability to provide oxygen for fire, and oxygen is also giving light, more ignite to the fire. Oxygen is itself burning. Next is gas under pressure. When there is anything filled in on the canes, this sign is there that there is a pressure filled in that. So we should avoid playing with such materials. Next, corrosive means it's very burning. It can cause skin burning. It can even damage the eyes when it comes in contact with the eyes. Next row, acute toxicity. It is the symbol for toxic substances, means poison. And we know poisonous substances can lead to death. That's why a skeleton is there showing the death. Ooh. Next, health hazard, that it can cause harmful effects on our health. Next is serious health hazard, and it is indicating our internal organs like the lungs because it can cause long term health problems. It can cause respiratory issues. The last one is hazardous to the environment. As in the symbol, you can see the tree without leaves. So, leaves have expired, fallen down, and you can see a fish, it's upside down, means it can, the substance can be harmful for the trees, can be harmful for the marine life. So, it's hazardous to the environment. I hope you have understood all these hazards and their symbols with meanings. Importance of hazard symbols. These symbols are very important. Why? Because they give a warning. Warning. There is some danger, danger. It can be understood at a glance. We don't need to study 2 to 3 lines. We don't need to read. We just have a click on it at a glance. We can understand this. Everyone can know the danger signal as they are internationally accepted. So everyone can know. Even if a person cannot know how to read, he or she can understand the symbol and can know the danger. Types of hazards. There are 6 types of hazards. Let's study each. One from the top, safety. Safety hazards, biological hazards, physical hazards, ergonomic hazards, chemical hazards, and psychosocial hazards. Let me explain you each. Biological hazards. They are due to the viruses, bacteria, pests. We know that pests are the harmful substances which harm the crops. So biological hazards, they include viruses, bacteria, even the blood sample. If in an experiment, blood sample is taken, so that blood is also hazardous. It's a biological hazard. Number 2, chemical hazard. We know that many chemicals are flammable chemicals, they cause burning, so chemical hazards are always there on any workplace. Third is physical hazard. It is due to the noise, radiation, pressure. So these are the physical things which can cause the hazards. Next is safety hazard. It is due to the conditions like exposed wires, damaged carpets, which can cause falling of the person. So these are the hazards. Next, ergonomic hazards. These are due to the poor posture, manual handling. If our hands are shaking, they are hazardous. So it's due to the handling and poor posture. It can cause skeletal problems. Last is psychosocial hazards. It is due to the stress. If we are working in an area and we are under stress due to our boss, due to our heads, then we may face psychosocial hazards due to any violence also. So these are the types of hazards. Let's wrap up quickly. We have learned today about the laboratory safety rules, hazards and risks, and the hazard symbols. So look at the top, the safety rules. What does the left one shows? Extreme left. Yes, it is to wear the goggles. Next is to wear gloves. Next, we should wear the lab coat. Next is showing water, means we should close the tap when we don't need water, and we should not even throw water in the lab. It's very dangerous. People may fall down. Next is use a sanitizer. We should wash our hands before and especially after the practical. Hazards and risks. Hazards are due to the condition, due to any chemical, due to anything, any agent. And risk are when we are exposed to that hazard. Like water is there, it's a hazard that anyone can fall down in that water. But the risk is jumping in without knowing how to swim. It's a big risk. Hazards and symbols. Now tell me the hazards. What does these means, the symbols? At the left it is for burning, that flammable. In the middle one it is for serious health hazard. It can cause long-term health problems. And the last is for explosive. Some substances, some chemicals, they have explosive nature. Now it's your time for homework. You have to do test yourself questions given on your book, page number 5. 4 questions are given over there. Question number 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have to do them. This presentation will help you a lot, and you can consult your book as well. Next question, number 5, which you are going to do is, what are the 5 types of hazards in a workplace? You will write the risk associated with that, and you will explain the hazards. Very short lines, very brief note. Question number 6 is, write any 6 lab safety rules to be pasted on a chart in lab. You will write on your loose sheets about 6 lab safety rules, the important ones. You can even draw images or you can paste pictures along with them. And the best one will be, of course, pasted in the school lab once the school will open and you will submit me your homework. I hope today's lesson was really interesting and you all are clear about it. So now start working on the homework. All the best. Thank you.